What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Unscripted podcast. That is correct. The Unscripted podcast, a little rebrand there with the Rook and the Kid. I'm the Rook, Jared May, and I'm joined by.
Hunter Poole, the Kid.
This is the first time we have been just me and him in one podcast episode together in a long time. We've had a lot of guests on, a lot of moving around parts and stuff like that. We've mentioned the wedding before and blah, blah, blah. So, but we are back, the Rook and the Kid exclusive edition here. So, but yeah, Unscripted podcast, a little rebrand there. That way it's kind of more easy to remember when you're searching on YouTube. When you say TRAK podcast, you're going to go, it's not pulling anything up. And I've had this happen multiple times. I don't know about you, Hunter, where I tell somebody that that's the podcast name. And they were like, I typed it in, and I look at it, and they put TRAK podcast. I was like, yeah. It's a tough English literature issue. So yeah, the Unscripted podcast with the Rook and the Kid. The Rook and the Kid are still here.
Man, I have not been on a podcast in a minute.
Yeah, we missed you on the last one. We had a pretty solid run. So. Which the boys did. They wanted to talk about what we're going to talk about today. I kind of felt bad, but at the end of the day, they'll get their piece of the pie, and if anything, I'll let them put some content out there about what we talk about today. I think it'd be only right. It's DC4L. So, but we're going to get into the Dallas Cowboys 2023 schedule release and kind of go through, nitpick some games, and then give our overall record predictions. We had some news on Matty Ice, Matt Ryan. He joined CBS Sports. We have some questions about that as well. True Brand, Ben DiNucci signed with Denver after his successful XFL season with the Seattle Sea Dragons. We've got a brand new segment. I think this one's here to stay, depending on how it does in this podcast. I think I actually have some high expectations for it. 1-0 in district. So who went 1-0 this week? It can be anybody. It can be Donald Trump. It can be Kim Jong-un. It can be Hitler. Who knows? 1-0 in district. You know what it's like. You're from the Bluff. Everybody's like not even playing or whatever. You're third string. You're just like, put it on your Instagram. Hey, 1-0 in district.
That's everybody in high school sports. You always see the guys. They're like sweaty, but it's from like. Just having their helmet on, because no matter what you have the helmet on, you get a little sweaty.
Yeah.
The hats or the jerseys look clean.
Back plate. Yeah.
They're like.
Yep. They got all their teammates around, and they're all like. Usually, it's the one guy that has the clean jersey, and then everyone else around him has like this dirty ass jersey because they've been playing in the mud, 150 snaps a game. This dude's just been on the bench, like, yeah, I'm on the team.
You gotta look at the neck. Then when the neck's sweaty, it's like, okay, that dude probably played. But when your hair is sweaty, you're probably
yeah, it's just the helmet. Yeah, yeah. We're aware of those things because we played. So TRAK Ranking segment, we got a new one today, brought to you by The Kid. So that'll be interesting to get into. But let's start out with the Dallas Cowboys 2023 NFL schedule. And we're not going to go through every game. We open up with the Giants per usual. It reminds me back of in the Romo days. But let me share my screen here so everybody can see the schedule on here. That way we can have a place of reference. But we'll start out with week 2 versus the Jets. That's the first kind of portion of the schedule, if you will. Sorry. Of what we're going to cover. So white is your home games. Navy is your away games. So the Jets, week 2, Aaron Rodgers, Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, a new patched up maybe O-line. Breece Hall. What are your thoughts on this one? Is this a shaky one, or is Aaron Rodgers the type of guy that kind of chokes at the beginning of the season and then catches fire later on? Are we going to catch him at the right time? Are they going to mollywop us? What are your thoughts on this game initially with the current rosters we have right now?
Well, I know you made a good point about Aaron Rodgers. He starts off slow. Yeah. But what is he? He's a cowboy killer.
That's correct. In the Packers uniform, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also, not only that, I mean, he's still in a green jersey. He's in a white and green jersey, no yellow. Yeah, he's gonna look a little weird. I think is he wearing number 8?
8, I think. Yeah.
That's weird, bro.
Hey, Joe Namath now, he gave him the permission to take that jersey on. He said, hey, you can wear 12 if you want. He's like, no, wear number 8 because I'm a hippie.
Yeah, number 8 because it's how many Bulls I'm gonna load up before this Cowboys game.
Yeah,
they're gonna. I'll say my record prediction later on when we're talking about it. But
yeah,
on the schedule, this is one of the games I do have the Cowboys losing.
Okay.
And I'm not sure the Jets play week 1. They probably might lose that. The last 2 seasons, Aaron Rodgers has gotten smoked week 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That might be the bounce back week.
Yeah, and just like, even though it's a home game, over the last couple of years, the Cowboys haven't been too hot at home like most teams should be. But yeah, he's at the end of the day, he is the Cowboy killer, and I really want to go to that game. I've been trying to decide. I've been looking at tickets, kind of see what game.
TRAK needs to go to a game.
Nothing is valid with that on.
The boy, the medical guy, per usual, is in the chat because he is, Chris, what's his name? Colin Cowherd has the loyal followers of the herd. This is the loyal follower / member of the TRAK podcast right here. This is our honorary. You can always count on him to have a comment, to have a question, anything when he's not guessing on podcast. So shout out to the medical guy here. Although the criticism of Hunter's hat is just speaking against his ethnicity, he's actually 50% Mexican and 50% Corpus Christian. So, or Bluffian, whichever one you prefer. I don't know what.
Look. But yeah, so I just don't see. I know we got stuff on Gilmore, and then we still have Diggs, but I think
it's gonna be tight.
I've seen Aaron Rodgers just, he made Christian Watson against the Cowboys last year.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I mean, at the same time, like, you make a good point, but you, like you mentioned earlier, you called him the Cowboy killer. But why is he the Cowboy killer? Because in close games and under 2 minutes, he dices our defense up. So, which kind of leads into what I had is I do think we actually lose this game because every game that I've watched against the Jets where we should have won or it's a close one, we always lose. I don't understand it. I remember years ago when I think we led off with Romo in MetLife against the Jets, and we were like, oh, we should smoke them. And we got smoked. And then when I was at Panola, we played them again, and the Jets beat us. Remember what that 2-point conversion and Jamal Adams blitz right through the middle? And I was about to go to practice to like literally move the tarp in like freezing cold rain. I was like, bro, this is annoying. My coach came in, Coach Shelton, he goes, fucking Cowboys, they always suck. And I was like, it grinded my gears. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think Rodgers is going to be Rodgers. It's going to be his bounce back game after his week 1 flop. And it's going to be close, but I think they score like a last-second field goal, something like 31-28 or something.
Yeah, that's Garrett Wilson probably go for like 200 yards, and then Diggs, just gonna get exposed or something, like they always say. And then like, he gave up 500 yards against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, exactly. They'll come out after Rodgers throws like 300 on us. Shout out to Elizabeth Warren here. But what they'll do is we'll let up 300 yards passing and maybe 100 yards rushing or whatever. Hopefully not, but let's just say it happens. And then they'll go, Dallas ranks 32nd in defense after week 2. And you're like, yeah, whatever. So up next, the big night. Now, this is the one I probably have a controversial take. But so I'll start it off. But week 5, we play Sunday Night Football away in San Francisco against the 49ers. We're talking the same roster. Who knows what the quarterback's going to be? It doesn't matter. They still have 7 billion weapons. I think we win this game. I think we win it because it doesn't matter. So I think in the playoffs, if we play them again, we lose. We'll beat them when it doesn't count. And that's not a knock against anybody specifically or any player specifically. It's just what the Cowboys do. Now, I would take an L here if it meant we won in the playoffs. But I'm predicting we win week 5 because, in the past 2 years, San Francisco doesn't really catch their flame until after midseason or around the trade deadline.
Yeah, like November, end of October.
Because you remember last year, you remember it because we used to grill our buddy that, they lost to the Bears. And they were like, "Ooh, the weather." And it's like, it's still football. But
the Bears were playing in the same weather too.
Exactly.
It wasn't like the Bears every time they're on offense. It was like sunshine and rainbows and unicorns. But
sunshine and rainbows.
and then he was like, "Yeah, but the weather." And it's like, well, everyone's playing Hurricane Harvey, but look at that,
double standards.
They lost to the Falcons. Who else did they lose to?
Broncos. Yeah, that was an ugly one where Jimmy G pulled a Dan Orlovsky.
Which saved him because he stepped out. They call it safety, but he threw a pick 6 at the same time. But stepping out really did keep that game close. Like a game of mishaps.
Cut a break.
We haven't lost to the Niners in the regular season since 2014 because we got smoked by them on week 1. That was the year that they had the Dez catch.
Yeah.
49ers smoked us week 1. It was I remember Des Bryant got crucified by somebody. I think it might have been Patrick Willis, but I could see the Cowboys winning that game too. It's weird how they're playing on Sunday night. It's gonna be like 5:00
in San Francisco
when we play them. It's gonna be sunny the whole time, and and also you made a good point about if the game matters in the playoffs, the Niners will probably win.
Maybe.
Hopefully Blake is not watching this, so he holds that against me. But at the end of the day, he can ligma. And I'm looking at this schedule. It's really not that bad of a schedule.
It's pretty strong. Like going into the next week, the Chargers at week 6. The reason I wanted to talk about this one is because obviously Kellen Moore left the Cowboys and now he's going to go coach Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, maybe, and the 3 receiver threats that they have over there. And it's away. So we're playing them at their stadium, which I believe is the new SoFi Stadium, I believe. And that's on ESPN, which shit. I think it's a notable game because, obviously Kellen Moore has a strategy to where I think it benefits Justin Herbert. Whereas Mike McCarthy's new strategy, I think, benefits Dak Prescott way more than it did when Kellen Moore was there. And that's just an initial current roster, rough draft prediction. So I would like to hear your thoughts on it first, and then I'll circle back and I'll share who I think wins this game.
Well, I could see the Cowboys putting up a lot of points on the Chargers because, Chargers always have like the superstar, like good on paper defense, but they're all hurt by third week of preseason.
Good point.
But it would help your agenda is if the Chargers score like 35 points and they lose, which I hope it doesn't happen. But going back to like the Kellen Moore is, he likes to be flashy, he likes to score, he likes to do this, kind of gets teams back into the game. I'm not sure how Quentin Johnson is going to be with that team.
Yeah.
Because he's like another Mike Williams.
Mike Williams. I was thinking the same thing.
You can't put him in the slot. So I guess you're gonna put Keenan Allen and Josh Palmer in the slot. You're gonna go 4 wide receiver set.
Right. If Keenan Allen stays. But looking at Quentin Williams or Quentin, whatever his name, Johnson, from TCU in there at the same time as Mike Williams, you're gonna be like, it's the same player. But yeah. So I think this is I think this is a mid to low scoring game. Now I just think that McCarthy knows how Kellen Moore thinks. I think Kellen Moore knows how Mike McCarthy thinks, and I think they just kind of counter each other the entire game. And this becomes like a, and also the last time we played the Chargers, it was very low scoring as well. It was very chippy. It went down to a last-second field goal. I think the Cowboys come out with a win. I think they beat a team like the Chargers. Now, this is important because the next week we have a bye. Before we move on, but I was going to be like, we play back-to-back in LA, away in California, and then we hit our bye week, and then we're at home against a California team. So that's a tough turnaround to play the 49ers and then play the Chargers the next week. That's an incredibly tough turnaround. I just think, we do get an extra day of rest because it's on Monday night. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck are commentating. Thank God they're not doing the 49ers game because we would probably lose knowing Joe Buck's luck for the Cowboys. But I think we sneak by with a win. I think we can do it. I don't think it'll be ugly, but I think we sneak by.
Yeah, so it'd be like going back to your point about they're going to feed off each other. It's going to be like Mike McCarthy's going to try to control the ball all game. He's probably going to try to have 10 to 15 more minutes of possession time than the Chargers. But Kellen Moore, they're going to go for it on fourth down. They're going to try to just keep it coming, no homo. And then God damn, we're on a Taylor Swift tour, all this West Coast shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We travel through California for 3 weeks straight.
But the Chargers, every time we play the Chargers at SoFi, they don't have a big fan base at the moment, near to the Rams. So it's that's going to be a home game for Dallas, basically.
Basically, yeah.
And then they have their training camp they have in California anyway?
Yep.
We'll see about that. There's a lot of teams,
we travel well in California, for sure. LA, when LA opened up their stadium, we played them that week one. What was that? 2 years ago, I believe. We were covering half the stadium. Now the flip side of that is Denver at the Cowboys stadium. That was nasty. Denver completely swarmed our stadium, and Jerry Jones was happy about it. He was like, "This is great stuff." We're like, "No, it's not."
Denver has a good fan base.
Don't worry about the deep ball with the Chargers.
I don't know, bro. They got some jump threats. They're gonna need to put Stephon Gilmore on Mike Williams that game because.
The question is, can they protect Herbert long enough? That's the question.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this rookie. You think he's gonna start?
I don't know.
Who would start? Osa? Is that his name? Osa Ashwagandha?
Are you talking about our D-line?
Uh-huh.
I think Mozzie starts. But I think your first rotation this early in the season, it's going to be probably shifting into where Mozzie gets more snaps, 50-50. But, the original rotation is going to be probably something like Hankins and Hankins and Osa. Odigizua is his name. And then Gallimore and Mozzie, I think, will be your twos. But I think at this point in the season, at week 5, week 6, right before the bye week, I think Mozzie will get a lot more reps. He'll kind of sneak his way into the starting role.
Where did Armstrong go?
Dorrance, I think he stayed.
Oh, we kept him?
Duh. Yeah, we kept him. Yeah, he's staying. All right, so now we'll move into – so we got 2 matchups, obviously, with our NFC East rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles. Do you think we lose both games? Do you think we split them? Do you think we – obviously this is without injuries. This is without knowing what our record would be at this current point in time. How we fare with them currently right now with the roster we have, the coaches we have, who do you think would come out on top in those 2 games, home and away?
I think we beat them in Philly, but we lose to them at home.
Interesting.
I think we play against them very well on the road in Philly most times.
Mm-hmm.
If Dak was playing against the Eagles the first time, it would have been different. They lost by 8 on the road?
Yeah, and it was a lot closer, in a way. I mean, they scored late.
Yeah, I think they'll split it, and then I can see us. I think the Giants will be tough, but we'll probably beat them twice. I don't see us, and then Washington.
I just don't see us losing to Daniel Jones. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care what his ceiling is. I just don't see us losing to Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I think we split it with Philadelphia, and then division wise for like the title, I think it's have to go by better record because I think we're splitting it with them.
Yeah, I think that's the safest bet to do. With how the Eagles roster fares now with ours, I just think their defense kind of outweighs their offense now in a way from what they did in the draft. And so that kind of scares me because you're like, okay, they got that same crazy rushing attack. Dallas, we don't know if Pollard's going to be the same back. I don't think Deuce Vaughn even makes the 53-man roster.
He is such a small guy.
He is so small. I mean, he looks like Boss Baby out there, except his ethnicity is a little different. But he does. But who knows? He may pan out. But Pollard has to be healthy. So I agree. I think we split them. I think that's the safest way to bet. But I would flip it. I would say we lose to them away and beat them at home.
We play them on the road the first time.
Yeah.
Then when we play them, was that week 14?
Yep. Yeah, week 14 in December. What is that? The 10th of December at night.
And then they got Goatman's gonna be in Arlington. Damn, bro, I might have to go to that game, the Seattle game.
Goatman, Gino.
Last time though, I paid for a Cowboys and Seattle tickets at the Cowboys Stadium. I had to watch fucking Matt Castle throw for 92 yards. I ain't doing that. I'm not watching that again, bro. I watched our team kick 3 field goals.
Yeah.
9-13. The only thing that was cool is that Greg Hardy got a pick. That was the only cool thing that happened.
Yeah, the one moment where you stood up in your chair and was like, yeah!
Yeah, Matt Castle, oh my gosh, bro. He threw the ball more out of bounds than he did inside the lines. Like, it was awful, and our seats were kind of trash, and it was like,
yeah.
And then I had to walk down, and then they're like, Dallas sucks. Oh man, dude, I was ready to pop one off, bro.
Yeah, I'd be in the same boat. It's like when I went to a preseason game, the Texans versus the Cowboys, and the Texans beat us by like 2 or 3 points, and on the whole way out, I've got Texans fans yelling in my ear about how Dallas sucks. I'm like, it's the preseason. Anyway, we went on to go 8-8 that year, so maybe they were right. We get Washington on Thanksgiving. I think this is an easy dub. You don't think so?
Dude, I don't know. We struggle on Thanksgiving. It's kind of
weird.
That
is true, but my struggles from Thanksgiving comes from playing the Bills a couple years ago. That was awful. I remember sitting there with my family, and I was like, nobody better talk to me right now. This is so terrible.
What about when we played Oakland or Las Vegas?
Oh, dude. That was tough. I had left. I was driving for the second half. And so the person in my passenger seat was like, reading off the game and giving me updates, and I'm driving, and I'm like getting infuriated because it was just like penalty. I was like, get these yellow flag stuff out of here. I'm like, bro.
Who did we play last year on Thanksgiving?
The Giants. That's when Jake Ferd hurdled. We didn't play that good, but
yeah, we kind of played like shit like all game.
Yeah, Derek had one of those. What did he have? A pick or two?
Yeah, he threw that pick on the sideline when he thought it was offsides, and then
that's annoying.
CeeDee Lamb went off though.
Yeah, that one-handed catch on the sideline. Yeah.
And then Micah Parsons was doing up what's his name? Andrew Thomas, the right.
Yeah, or Evan Neal.
I don't know. He was bodying somebody on that line.
The rookie, right?
No. He's doing the left tackle. No homo. I think his name was Andrew Thomas. I think he was.
Yeah, that's one of them. I just remember Evan Neal and him having beef, and then he destroyed Evan Neal. I just remember him working their rookie, no homo.
And then
But
Kid Thibodeau had a good game against us. I remember. Okay, now I remember. He's
yeah.
solid.
All right, so dub or no? Close?
I think it'll be not as easy as probably you think, but I say we win by probably like 2 touchdowns, but it's probably not going to be like an easy 2 touchdowns. It's going to be like
maybe late in the game.
Yeah, like we'll probably score. We'll get like a 2 touchdown lead in the 4th, and then it's like kind of just game's over. But yeah, we just don't. I don't know what it is on Thanksgiving these last couple of years. It started with, like you said, the Bills. It's like our energy is just not there.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's very the opposite of what it should be, to be honest.
We're lucky that the Giants were also playing like shit because, I mean that Oakland game or that Las Vegas game was just BS the whole time. Like that was just bad.
Yeah, I just don't think they were near as good as us. I think that's why it was like that. They looked like they were playing like shit. I just think that talent and scheme wise, I thought we were miles ahead of them. But it's Thanksgiving. You never know. All right, so our overall record prediction of the 2023 NFL season with our current rosters. I can't stress that enough. Current rosters, no injuries. What is your record prediction, or would you like me to go first? Either one.
You can go first.
I can go first. Cool. Okay. Based off all the things that I've said, I said we would lose against the Jets. I said we're going to split the Eagles. So that's 2 losses right there. I think one of the toughest slates of the season is going to be Philadelphia, Buffalo, Miami, Detroit. I think that's a really tough slate. I think we slip 1 or 2 games in there. So I would say 12-5 again. I honestly think 12-5 again. And I think I wouldn't say ceiling. Obviously, you can play better than that. But just the way that it's outlined and who we're playing back to back, I think it's very tough to repeat losses. We're going to have to go on streaks against these bad teams. Like right here, we get the Cardinals and the Patriots. Those are must wins. Giants, Carolina, Washington, Seattle, must wins. So if we can do that and maybe split those tough games, I think we can end up 12-5. At worst, I think 10-7. I don't think we're a below 10 team. I think we're a great enough roster currently so we're going to win 10 plus games.
I couldn't even see the Patriots on the screen. I was like,
yeah, it slipped in there. I didn't even notice it.
All right, 12-5. Okay, well, I got us losing.
Sorry.
Guys, listen to the Jets. Once to the Eagles. Then probably the Bills.
Yep.
I can see us losing to probably the Bills, and then I think we'll lose to the Lions. I'm gonna go.
I say it, yes, sir. I was thinking the same damn thing. I don't know why. I just think it.
I'm gonna go with 13-4, and I'm gonna go. That would probably be at best.
Mm-hmm.
At worst, I'll go with. I'm gonna go with 10-7. At
okay.
Worst.
Yeah.
With the healthy team.
Yep. Yeah. So I was hoping you wouldn't say 9-8 because I would have been like, that would just be such a bad year if this team went 9-8. We don't want to see that. I believe that we're a 10 plus win team like you do. So
the NFC is pretty wide open at the moment. There's a lot of question marks everywhere, and even with the teams like the 49ers, like I know they have showed success without having like a real starting quarterback here and there, but I mean, Brock Purdy, if his elbow's not the same, and then Trey Lance can stay healthy, and then Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold's better than people give him credit for. I know he's had a little rough time in the NFL. He's only 25, And
I think he'll take the reins.
I believe he'll probably eventually start for that team. And
I don't think it's crazy to say that. I think he'll take the reins. I mean, he's had a bad rap. He's been on 2 shit organizations. Now give him Kyle Shanahan's, offensive scheme with his weapons. Long story short, I think he can be effective.
13-4 Super Bowl. Woo!
That's right. If there's any year with the roster we have right now, it should be this year. Last year was another year, you could argue, but I don't think there's a missing piece this year. Okay, so let's start the news segment. This is the one I'm really excited for. All right, want to know in district. We want to know who went 1-0 this week. It could be anybody. It could be, like I said at the intro, it could be Donald J. Trump, or it could be a comedian. It could be Dave Chappelle. It could be Hunter's mom. It could be my sister that is unborn. It could be anybody who went 1-0. So we want to know in the comments or on our Instagram once these videos are posted, because there's nobody watching currently. All our guests left. But Hunter, do you want to start this one off, or who went 1-0?
For my 1-0, I'm gonna go with the man who's in the conference finals right now. I'm gonna go with LeBron James. Is 1-0 in district.
Solid.
Game 6, LeBron, 7 seed. Everybody's been talking all that mess to him. Saying Steph Curry's better than him all time. Saying stuff like that. And then you got Game 6 today. LeBron goes out, Game 6, bully balls the whole time, playing defense, 39-9. He shot 70%. Made his free throws for the most part. He missed a couple. I think he went 6 for 8, which is actually better.
That's actually good for LeBron.
Now they're in the conference finals. They did lose last night, which I didn't think they were going to win anyway. I still got Lakers in 6. I've gotten the Lakers in 6 both times right in each.
Okay, yeah.
So let's see if I can get a three-peat, but for the time being, it will probably be LeBron James.
Solid pick. I think that's notable. And, to your credit as well, next week you'll be getting to run an NBA playoffs podcast. So that's going to be fun to watch as well. So your Lakers are in there, bro. So your LeBron's Lakers are in there, I should say. I don't know if you should claim the Lakers technically, but your LeBron team is in there. So credit to your agenda. He's had a masterful playoff run, which is good. A lot like the Heat. The Heat are they're there. But LeBron, I think it's a little bit more impressive because his roster's not as good as the teams that he's beaten. So
their Lakers roster is definitely top heavy, meaning they got AD and LeBron. AD's been the probably more impactful, better player in the playoffs because of his defensive presence, and most games he does shows up. But that Game 6, LeBron was doing everything. It literally looked like the old LeBron that everyone was so used to seeing, And hopefully they can figure it out. Denver's not going to be taken lightly, but I do believe they can beat them.
Gotcha. Shout out to LeBron. He went 1-0 this week. All right, so my 1-0 in district shout out goes to none other than Adolis Garcia for the Texas Rangers, the right fielder. So this dude, he may not have the highest batting average right now, but he is on a tear when it comes to runs and RBIs. Adolis Garcia has 44 RBIs in 41 games, which is insane. 11 home runs. He has 32 runs in those 41 games, which is also very impressive. The Rangers are in first place in the AL West still, which is a bit shocking. However, with injuries to the Astros, they may catch up once they've made a trade or two. But Adolis Garcia, if you haven't seen this guy, he's built like Bo freaking Jackson. This dude is shredded, and he's got massive pop strength. one of the things he's done well so far this season is he has recognized his plate discipline has become one of the things that has really grown from him. He's one of those guys that's going to swing out of his shoes, but this year he's kind of calmed it down. He's realized he's had a lot of pop on his back. He doesn't have to swing as hard, even though it may look like it, but I guarantee you he's swinging like 70%. He's a lot more composed. He's taking those breaking balls, those changeups in the outside part of the plate, acknowledging them, and taking advantage of the fastball. So Adolis Garcia is my 1-0 in district shout out of the week. I think he's honorably deserving of it. And I wanted to shout out my Rangers. So we haven't had a chance to talk about baseball as of yet, which is hilarious too, because the polls that I ran, nobody wants to talk about MLB. We got one vote for
early.
Yeah. I guess I could re-ask that in July. But we got one vote for NBA and I think like 12 for NFL. So I mean it kind of narrows down what we could easily talk about. So but yeah, Adolis Garcia.
Also, I want to give a little honorable mention, second team. Ronald Acuna Jr. That man is a menace with the bat. I don't know. He's batting like 350 right now.
Yeah.
He gets on base. He does everything. Braves are actually really good this year. And
they smoked us 2 days ago. It's like 12-0. It's like, good Lord.
Yeah, I'm hoping Acuna can do something tonight. I just need 10 fantasy points from him. But
yeah, that's a good one. I mean, at a certain point, we were talking about it. I mean, we had that one moment where he hit the home run, and we were both betting on his bases or total bases or something like that. And he hit the home run, and it cleared it in like the 6th inning. We stood up and started yelling. That shit was funny. But at that moment in time, he was on pace for like a 353 average. I think 63 home runs, like nuts metrics and statistics. So that's a good one. Good
Speaking of that, the same thing happened today. I bet on Mike Trout, and I was like,
respect.
I was like in the sauna, and I was like, he had like a 3-2 count, and he'd already he struck out the first time. I was like, watched it on thing, bang, just smoked one, and I was like, yeah.
He can do it in the blink of an eye. Both him and Acuna.
Luckily, there wasn't really anybody in the sauna, so I could be like, yeah.
Yeah!
It was.
All right. So, all right, moving on. Those are good. Matt Ryan joins CBS Sports as an analyst. So, I guess one of the primary questions to ask is he officially hanging up the cleats? And if so, Matt Ryan, here's his total stat. I'll give you the rundown. It's kind of the follow-up question. Matt Ryan played 15 seasons, obviously for the Falcons and the Colts. He threw for over 62,000 yards. That's 62. I don't know if I stuttered there, but 381 touchdowns, over 4 Pro Bowls. He got an Offensive Player of the Year award, Offensive Rookie of the Year award, and won 1 MVP and blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. If he's hanging up the cleats, is he a Hall of Fame quarterback or not?
I will answer both questions. One, after that ass beating he took last year behind that Colts line, I think he is done playing football. I don't think he returns because
I concur.
He got beat up last year.
Yeah.
And for the Hall of Fame question, is he a first ballot? No, he's not.
No.
He's probably like a 4th or 5th ballot. I think he does get in. What really helps is that MVP award. I think if he did not blow that Super Bowl lead and would have beat Tom Brady, he probably would be like two or three.
Yeah.
Probably not a first. I mean, 62,000 yards, 4 Pro Bowls. I mean.
Yeah. It'd be different if he continued to play at that level when he got to like Rodgers and Brady and Peyton Manning's age. But he had a big drop off once he lost the Super Bowl. It was never really the same. I mean, he was Matty Ice for the majority of his career, but then in the back half, it was just like, he's there, but they're not winning any games. And he goes to the Colts and he's like, well, this is just brutal to watch. And it's elder abuse watching him run around in the pocket.
I mean, if Matt Ryan is a Hall of Famer, is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer?
I think Matt Ryan has technically, I don't know if that's crazy to say, but might have more of a case to be in the Hall of Fame than Eli Manning. And Eli Manning, he found a way to win games. I'm just not as high as Eli Manning as other people. I do think he is a Hall of Famer, but he has 2 Super Bowls, correct? And that's impressive. But outside of that, there's nothing really that kind of like makes me go, wow, raises my eyebrows and goes, damn, that's impressive. And that's talking stats. I mean, we always talk about how winning matters more than anything. And Eli Manning was one of those guys that knew how to do it. And I think that's why he gets into the Hall of Fame. But, I guess statistically wise and, performance wise, I would say Matt Ryan has a slightly better case, but I think they're same ballot. I think they're 2 to 4 range in the ballots.
Was Matt Ryan a better quarterback than Romo during their time together, like playing?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, we could pull up the stats, but
so you think the MVP award is what is getting him into the Hall of Fame?
You see, I'm different. I think because the media does this, and this is why I love being called the Unscripted podcast, because the media when they put like the end of an era in there, they'll include Phillip Rivers. I know this isn't your question, but they include Phillip Rivers, but they don't include Tony Romo, when Tony Romo has a far better resume than Phillip Rivers. So then you're like, wait a minute, why is Phillip Rivers in there? Is it because he has 9 kids? It's like, no, it's because he's in California where they have their ESPN bias. That's why. Romo has a much better case. Matt Ryan has a better case, a way better case than Phillip Rivers. The dude didn't throw as many picks. The dude won an MVP. The dude went to a Super Bowl. Those other 2 guys didn't touch one. Now, performance-wise, when they were both in the league, I think Matt Ryan, I think they're dead even, but I think Romo has an edge because of his mobility. I mean, they both had a season where they had, 11-plus wins, multiple of them, maybe 2 or 3. We had that one really good year. Matt Ryan had the incredible year where he went to the Super Bowl, but, just like Romo, if you don't win the Super Bowl, it doesn't really amount to anything, right?
Yeah, so. And I just, with these, like people like Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning, the thing about it is, which a lot of people look over, is like the longevity of it.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. He probably wasn't he's probably like number 10 and maybe a top 10 during his era.
Yeah.
But to start 15 seasons, like, it's not the easiest thing to do in the NFL to start even on a team. But then you do 15 consecutive seasons and you won MVP and you threw for over 60,000 yards, almost 400 touchdowns. They don't like to look at the longevity because they're like, he wasn't maybe dominant. But they make it seem like playing in the NFL for all the 15 seasons is just normal. It's like 0.02% probably. Like, it's probably very low. Not many guys play that long. So
that's an excellent point. I mean, it just kind of it doesn't bat some people's eyes. That they remember what they last saw, in my opinion, and they're going to see Matt Ryan on the Colts and go, he was awful. And then they're going to play back highlights when he was in the Falcons and go, damn, he was cold. So, the shit gets lost in the archives, just like Romo, just like Rivers. It just gets lost. Cam Newton. People are going to go, he thinks he can't play in the NFL because of his damn hair. What an idiot. And then they're going to look back at his highlights when he was on the Panthers and be like, holy shit, this dude has a case. For the quarterbacks that run, they don't have a long tenured NFL season, so to play as long as he did is impressive. But I don't believe.
And when he's running,
that's a different conversation.
When he's older now, he's like still trying to run. They're like, you can't take a beating like you once did. And go back to that Cam Newton thing. His hair is not the reason why he's not in the NFL. However, his hair is dumb as hell.
Yeah, that's correct.
Dumbass haircut, whatever you want to call it. Dude, it looks like a mop that got.
Yes, he's like tied up, like as a prank, and the janitor just like, son of a bitch.
It looked like he got like a dirty mop and then like rinsed it up and then like threw it on his head.
Yeah, he looked like he used a mop as like a damn plunger.
No, Cam Newton. That's not the reason why. However, you do have a dumb haircut. You should probably cut your hair.
Now, there are players like Cam Newton that are now serving as Walmart greeters. So, Greg Hardy might be using a plunger or a mop as well. And who knows, he might be able to use Cam Newton's head in the near future.
Greg Hardy.
We can get that untangled. All right. Yeah. All right. Good shit. Ben DiNucci. That's another one that we wanted to talk about real quickly. So Ben DiNucci had a pretty solid season in the XFL for the Seattle Sea Dragons. Obviously, our future sponsor goal is to be sponsored by True Brand. So we wanted to cover this guy because he had a pretty good season in the XFL with Josh Gordon as his wide receiver one. They were both high together in Seattle playing football. So he had a 64.7% completion percentage, 20 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Just that was kind of the shaky one. 3 rushing touchdowns though. Over 2,600 yards in 10 games. And he had 1 pick six in the Denver's practice on his first day. So, and that's all jokes, Ben, if you see this, bro. But I had to slap at you because my brother went to Sam. He went to James Madison. So it's game. But I don't know. Do you like this signing from Denver? You think it's exciting? I mean, are you a fan of Ben DiNucci? Is he a Cowboys legend? Or is he just a ghost in the wind, a tumbleweed in Amarillo?
He is a tumbleweed in Amarillo. Also, the movie does not sign me, but it's good. Good marketing. The people who own the Denver Broncos now own Walmart. Get some hats in the Walmart.
Yeah.
Get
it's
something.
It's a marketing tool.
I'm not saying if he sells his hats or they start getting distributed out of Walmart, heard it here first. When I saw signing, that was the first thing I thought of. He's not going to play over Russ, and I don't know who the backup is. And
I can't remember. I had his name for a second, but I was going to say Simeon, but I know it's not. It's not him.
Some random white guy.
Yeah, it's a random guy.
But this signing does not move me.
It's Paxton Lynch.
He just makes badass hats.
Yeah,
I bet you a Broncos hat, True Brand. I bet you that thing would look.
The colors, yeah, some navy and orange. That would look solid. I had a short stab there at Paxton Lynch, but I think I'm going to get this as straight as I can, but I think he's the only quarterback in professional sports history that was like a first-round draft pick that was benched in all leagues. So I think he was benched. So he's benched in the NFL, obviously, and I think he went to the USFL and got benched there, and then went to the XFL and got benched like the first game he played. That's Dallas's guy. That's the guy that Dallas wanted to pick. And I was like, thank you, Denver. Thank you, Denver.
Jerry Jones was really upset when Dallas didn't get him.
Yeah. We probably didn't want to draft a quarterback that looked like Dak. No offense to Jerry. But
he tried with Carter, bro. It didn't work.
That's just not, if you think about it, not to be all racial, but Dak's the only, black quarterback that's had success for the Cowboys.
Well, I mean, in the NFL, there's not a high percentage of them because not that many black quarterbacks actually play quarterback.
That's true. Now it's more popular. There's a lot of them now. There's a lot of, they're starting to grow. I mean, this year, what was it? The first 3 picks in the first 3 quarterbacks taken off the board were all black.
Yeah, well, exactly. And the thing is, what they're doing now.
That's pretty interesting.
The difference between the old African American quarterbacks and African American quarterbacks nowadays is that they actually throw the ball now. That was the problem. They just back then, most African American quarterbacks did not throw the ball well, and that's just how it went. Now they throw the ball well, and now you're seeing success. Now they're a secret weapon, or anybody who can do this when you can run and throw the football.
Yeah. That's deadly. I mean, that's something that people argue Michael Vick started it, but if you look at his passing stats, they're not crazy good. He's just insanely athletic. He's obviously changed the game, but
he definitely ran more than he did, but that dude had a cannon of.
He did, but he also threw for like under 60% completion percentage in multiple seasons, which nowadays you go, well, but he can't throw. You know, Lamar Jackson throws close to 65, 67. So, I mean, arguably. So, I mean, that's statistical.
Nowadays, it doesn't matter what color you are, but if you're not mobile enough, then you're not going to be able to be in this league because the defensive ends and defensive tackles are just so athletic nowadays, all running like under 4.5s.
Yeah. And that's a great point, too, because, you know, Warren Moon threw the ball pretty well. That is true. The Houston Oilers. I keep, you know, I'm going to get backtracked. I kind of lost my train of thought, but the Houston Oilers, I keep saying this, and everybody yells at me like, you know, the fat girl that tells you she's not interested. Is I go, the Texans should rebrand and go as the Oilers. It just makes sense. You know, the Houston Oilers, we do oil here in Texas. We have enough freaking oil in this damn state to supplement ourselves as our own country. And they're like, no, but it's the Titans brand. I'm like, okay, all right. Okay, I get it. But you guys have the Titans now. The Texans need a rebrand because that's stupid. The Texans, it's dumb, man. Anyway.
Yeah, they definitely do need to rebrand. And, yeah, the Houston Oilers were very, like, that's a pretty iconic, like, jerseys, team. But, you know, Warren Moon made them who they were. But that's the Titans now, so.
She's not interested.
She's not interested.
Yeah, I really want to know if Medical Guy's friends know who this Amanda person is. That's what I want to know because I got some silly comments from you boys about Amanda, and I see this Amanda looking at my story. She's not followed by anybody. It looks like a bot account. So I don't know. This is enough of these head games. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna sneeze real quick. One sec. No, I think I'm good.
Your allergies acting up, son?
Yeah, well, you know, I ate too much ass, so I got pink eye over the weekend, so I just got rid of it.
Did the good means fart on your face?
Yeah, I literally pet him. He was like, I was like, damn, bro, right in my damn eye. Yeah, eating that booty. All right. Well, all right. So let's finish off with our track ranking segment, and then we can conclude this episode. This is going to be funny, but I'll let you explain the top three and how you mean it because you came up with it, obviously, brought to you by The Kid. So what is our track ranking segment for today?
Today, our track ranking segment is going to be the top 3 sayings that you say when you're drunk. So that can just, anybody who's ever drank can think about all of the things that they say, you know, letting someone know maybe they're drunk, or maybe you always go out with your friends and you got one of your friends always says the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Like someone being like, every time they get drunk, be like, you know what, guys, like, I really enjoy you, man. Like, you know, my guy, bro. Like, and that's kind of what we're doing here. You know, what are your top 3 sayings?
Yeah. This is a good one because everybody kind of has their own as well. There's people that are like, that say their own types of things. I try to make it a little bit of both. One of them is a little bit explicit, but I'll go first. My number 3 one is actually an inside joke between me and you. And my guess is that I stole it, that you have it too. So I hope not though. I hope my wit outwitted you this time. But number 3 is the train has left the station. That's my number 3. When I'm getting faded and I feel my head escaping me, I'm getting the spins, I'm getting dizzy, and my eyes are getting twisted, I'm going, damn, the train has left the station.
The train has left the station.
For those of y'all that have not seen it, go watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and you will know what we're talking about. Number 2 is a classic, I think. It's you're sitting there with the can in your hand. You look at your friend. You go, "Bro, I'm fucked." It's a classic one. That's the one where you're probably sitting on the couch and you're having some like house party. You just turn, "Bro, I'm fucked." Number one, you just said it earlier. I was like trying to stop you, but the one where you're like, dude, you know what, guys? You know what? I don't care what anyone says, bro. Hunter, come here, bro. Dab him up. You're my dog, bro. Do you know that, bro? You're my fucking dog. That's number one, bro. I hear that all the time. Like people that are so freaking fake to me come up to me and they go, bro, you know, what's up, bro? I haven't seen you since blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Good to see you. Like, bro, your podcast is sick. They don't follow it. They don't shout it out. They don't like any pictures. They never ask me until they see me when they're drunk. You're fake. You're fake. But when you get drunk, I'm your bro. Get out of here.
Those were, I've definitely heard you say all three of those before.
There's probably one I missed in there that I've said before.
Yeah, I got a couple in the chamber. Top three sayings when, you know, especially the Rook can attest when I'm drunk is, bro, did you see that? She just gave me the look.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't think of it from that angle.
Like, bro, she just gave me a look. Did you see that? And most of the time, there's not even a girl in sight. So, I mean, but I'm like, dude. Like,
you can't admit that because I've called you. I'm like, she did not give you the look. And you're like, I'm telling you, bro, I saw it. And you're like, what? She just looked at you for like a split second. He goes, yeah. But I don't doubt it. I mean, we've been through this before. When I first met you, I doubted your game. Not with me, of course, but I doubted your game. And I found out very quickly that I was like, okay, it's real. I don't know how he does it, but it's real. Game is game.
Number two would probably be something like, oh, man, dude, I say so much dumb shit. Probably like, I'm going to go with something simple. I'd be like, bro, I am buzzing like a cheap speaker right now.
Yeah, he used that one a lot. Yeah.
And then number one is probably, I'm fucked up like a $9 fishing pole.
That's a good one. Yeah. Dude, we always, when we used to get off of the ranch and come home, whatever, we haven't done anything all day. We just sit down and then we drink or whatever we have in our hands. Pause, and we just go, damn, I'm buzzing like a something. Just something different every single time. I'm buzzing like this. I'm buzzing like that. And you're like, where the hell did you even come up with that? I'm buzzing like a bee.
Yeah, I had to keep. We definitely kept our things a little PG-13 because there's a
lot of things that have
I can't be saying most of the things I'd be saying because we're trying to keep this, you know.
Yeah, it was professional. I mean, in an unprofessional way, we have said, you know, we're just talking cuss words here. We're just like, we say some shit, but you know, on the podcast, we're gonna keep it. I mean, mine number two. You know, I apologize. It's unprofessional of me. So I thank you for calling me out. I appreciate it.
Dude, did you see that? Bro, she just gave me the look, bro. Look at her. She just gave me the look.
Where's she at? And then you look this way.
First off, I will say one thing.
Sure.
We still need to find the girl with the Top Gun shirt. I don't really remember what she looks like, but I need to find her.
I still kind of have a picture in my head of what her face looks like. And I thank God that it's her face that I remember. But, you know, she walked by. We're sitting in our usual spot. If you've ever been to Northgate, we're up there in Goodwill. And we're sitting in our normal spot, just chilling, drinking our drinks. And this chick walks by. And, you know, Hunter's sitting there. He's got his elbow on the thing. He's just got the picture in the other hand, just looking around. She walks by, crosses him from left to right. And I'm talking, this dude stares her down like a female lion in the safari. You're about to hunt down a gazelle. And he like follows her all the way. And she's looking at him too. They both look each other up and down. I'm just watching this. I'm like looking left and right. It's like slow motion. And this chick's like looking up and down and then smiles. And her friend drags her away. And
he's not interested.
Yeah, I don't remember how heavy she was, but the girl that she had a Top Gun shirt on, kind of brunette blonde mix, beautiful eyes. That's the part I remember. The eyes were impeccable. And we both were like, you tapped me in my arm because did you see that, bro? I was like, yeah, I did. At that time I did. And we never saw her again. I'm pretty sure she was like an angel. I think she's back in heaven now.
I will find her. Top Gun girl, Top Gun shirt, crop top, with the nice, beautiful hair and eyes. We'll find her.
Yeah, that's one you need to go searching for. You just need to put that on, like, if you have like a Hinge profile. I don't know if you're into that, but you get on there. Of course, I know if you're into that or not, but you get on there and you put on your prompt, I'm looking for the girl with the Top Gun shirt, and just narrow it down, see what happens.
And someone to be like, I got one, and I'll be like,
she'll be like this one.
No, that's not you, bro. Next.
You can look like the tomato from VeggieTales, and you're gonna be like, that's not her.
That's not her.
I have a Top Gun shirt. No.
Like, no, you probably ate it, bro.
Do you think it'd be funny if we had like fat guy friends that come up to girls and go, he's not interested? Do you think it'd be funny?
Nah, because what's funny about it is guys work differently, and when they see a certain chick, hitting on their friend, they laugh at it because they're like, like, look at him, like, what's he gonna do? Like,
yeah, he ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah. Either he's gonna walk away and they'll be like, damn, good shit, or if the guy starts indulging in this not best looking girl, they're just gonna make fun of you, so they hold it against you. So you'll never get the, he's not interested. They say that to the women who haven't seen anything, any action in forever. So like, oh, she's not interested.
Their interest is in vibrators. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up track 18. We've got a pretty good system down now. I feel like we're consistent once a week, maybe twice, depending on a new guest or whatever. But we're sitting at about an hour to an hour and a half each podcast. I think 2 hours might be just a little bit long, unless it's on a weekend. Who knows? But solid podcast. Obviously, next week, for you guys that do not know, I will be on vacation in Tennessee. And so, like I mentioned before on this podcast, the kid will be hosting a episode next week at a day of his choosing, and NBA playoffs and his Lakers and whatever else that he decides to talk about. But I will be listening in from the 865-309-1024. So I will be getting some sand in my boots in Tennessee. So good luck to you on the podcast next week. We'll be in comms. So,
brother.
Yeah. Do you think I'll be left with some sand in my boots from Tennessee when I'm up there? Remember that song, Morgan Wallen?
Actually, I was listening to that song today.
Yeah.
I was leaving Chipotle.
Respect.
It said, so we drank by ourselves.
You said, I said, girl, you never seen stars. It was like,
I the one back home, she said, maybe I should see for myself. Hey, oh, man, I love that song.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Hey, apparently those women in Tennessee are some heartbreakers, according to Morgan Wallen, so you better keep your head on straight. But if you find a good woman there,
stay.
Hey,
DX, the company that I'm currently working for, they have a station up there in Tennessee.
I'm just saying, I've heard a lot of good things about Tennessee and the women.
We'll see. I'll be in Nashville. I'll be in Gatlinburg. So, Morgan Wallen, Theo Vaughn, you guys are there. Come holler at the road.
That'd be badass, bro.
That would be badass. But hey, I got a podcast. He shouts us out. We come on Theo Vaughn's podcast. Come on, crank him.
I would love to go on Theo Vaughn's podcast.
And then the last thing, there are some rumors circling around. There is some new guests, and I'm talking guests that will be making or should be making an appearance on this podcast, and we're having them mapped out week by week. So if you're a fan, it's only going to get better. And I've said that for weeks now, but this is a process, but we are getting very close. We're starting to branch out, and some of the guests I think you guys will really, really enjoy, especially if you are sports fans. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, it'll be on our Instagram and our TikTok. We'll have all the content and videos posted in coherence with our Instagram. So good luck to the kid next week. I'll be in touch. Obviously, might even pop in for like 10 seconds. Who knows? Just kidding. But tune in next week for the NBA playoff special edition exclusive, The Kid podcast. So thank you guys.
Sure. Thank you guys.
Y'all have a good rest of y'all's week.